Hello folks, welcome back to Old Boy Georgia Guitars and More. Today we're going to relic some parts, age some hardware out here in the tropical climate of Georgia. So I'm gonna show you how I do it using muritic acid. Muritic acid is like a concrete cleaner, and it also balances pH in a swimming pool. So before you freak out about muritic acid, you may be swimming in it. So what we're going to do today is misuse this chemical for something other than what it's intended for. What I've got is some tremolo parts, different things, the springs, and then we've got our container. And what I'll do before I bring the camera in closer is explain this setup. I've got the muritic acid in here, with a block of wood. And make sure it's tone wood so you don't lose, any of your tonability in the process. But I use just a plastic container. This is like that lunch meat or something comes in. This is just a cheap container. I think I bought 4 of these at Home Depot for like $4. So you want to, whatever you use, you want to discard it once you're done. You don't want this stuff hanging around. So I'll bring the camera in a little closer, and then we'll get started on this thing. Okay, we're in a little closer now. Like I say, I've got the hardware parts that I want to age, and I know the lighting isn't real good out here, but being outside, and this is definitely something you want to do outside. You don't want to have this stuff inside. This is, in fact, I'm not advocating anybody do this. As far as I'm concerned, do not try this at home, okay? So what I've done is, you can see, I've just took painter's tape and wrapped around the part of the screw that I don't want damaged by the acid. I mean, because you want to keep your screws, all you want stuff that's inside aged. There's no sense in just, messing up the whole screw, because especially your little small screws that take, that your block goes in, that screws your block onto your tremolo. You don't want to get those threads corroded, whatever. That's going to make it real hard to get it back in the block. So I pretty much just lay everything out in here to where it can get whatever it needs to, this stuff to start working. And also on this build, I'm using some little AliExpress. It's supposed to be brass, and I can assure you it may be colored brass. It's not. I'm going to try to do something with these. It may just eat them. It may just eat the little coloring right off of them. I'm not going to leave them long, but I think if I can do just a little bit with the whole way I'm going with this guitar, it'll look pretty nice. So basically, just use your tape to put that. And something else I do is take like a Scotch-Brite pad or steel wool, maybe some 400 grit sandpaper, and just lightly rough up the surface of where I want it to work. That kind of helps a little bit. Okay, now this stuff, be outside, just be careful with this stuff, because it's not something you want to breathe in. You may have seen the vapor come off of it. But I just sit these down in here with so much of that. You don't want to put the parts directly in there. You want them to, you want the vapor to do the work. You don't want it directly in the acid. You want it, and I've got a couple weights here, because this lid's not particularly real. The better it seals, the better. But I've got that to kind of weight it down. And what you do is I'm going to leave that and periodically check it from time to time to see how it's going, because some parts are going to age or deteriorate, I should say, more rapidly than others. Now that's going to take a while, so these particular parts may not be in the video. here are some parts that I've already done. You can see the jack, and it was started out just a chrome jack, and I've went pretty extreme with this because of the particular type build that I'm doing. Right here you can see, and that's going to be hard to see. This will show up better in better light, but you can see that's where that come to. Now the bridge, I really went all bore out on it. I mean, I really, let it really cook a long time on this. And like I say, you can go to different degrees. Once you go too far, there's no going back. So, you got to really keep an eye on it. And then once it gets to where you want, just take that container out, the small plastic container out, and then let it take it under the sink. Let the water will stop the process. So once you do that, you're done. So like I say, I'm not saying anybody should do it this way. There's other etching material, other ways of doing this. This is just the way I do it. So we'll see what this does. But with the build, I want a brass. I'm gonna have like the gold whammy bar. Try to keep somewhat the brass on the saddles to make this guitar work out, and look the part. So I hope this video is informative. If I've got a couple more coming up. I'm going to do the review on the Fender Road Worn 50 series guitar I bought, and that's going to be an interesting one. And then I've got the Telecaster that I'm putting together. We got these two parts casters, the red one and this old Sunburst silver tone that I'm working on. So, if you're interested in it, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever suits you, So, really appreciate everybody subscribing, the comments, and, any questions you have, be sure and, shoot me a comment and I'll try to answer it. So, until the next time, I appreciate it.